All right, so I promised an update, and it has to happen today because we are traveling for a little bit. Um, so we had the scan, and we had the results of the CT scan. The results are kind of mixed. It seems like some of the tumors that are in my lungs, some of the things that are in my lungs have shrunk. But with that said, there's a lot of other spots on there. Those spots could be two things. They could be more cancer, which is very bad, or they could be scarring, which is completely normal and fantastic. They explained that basically everybody could have scarring in your chest if you've ever had any kind of breathing infection, and there's a lot of diseases that could do that. Then you can have scarring in there. The thing is that the scarring is kind of new. Now that means that I could have had. The only thing that sort of makes sense is that the chemo caused it, and we really don't know. So what we're going to be doing right now is I'm going to continue taking the pills that I'm currently taking, which I take every day, twice a day, to make sure that it's always in my system, every 12 hours, and no chemo, which is fantastic and freaking incredible. So there's not going to be any chemo, but we're going to be doing that for 8 weeks, so until January, and then we're going to have another CT, and we're going to see if there's any progression, and then we're going to see what's going on. And that's pretty much what's going on right now. It's mixed results because we don't really know, but it is. But the positive news about it, at least, is the fact that we're not going to have any chemo, and this is really good news for me because I've been on a cycle of 3 weeks since I got diagnosed, pretty much, and it's been very, very hard. It's been terrible. It's been building yourself back up as much as you can when you can, which is usually like a week and a half where I actually start feeling like a human being, and then you do it all over again. And physically, in terms of physical exercise, it's been probably the hardest thing because physical exercise, when you're at zero and you start doing something, you gain the immediate effects are really, really impressive and really, really immediate. Like I'll give the very basic example of which literally happened to me, which is jogging. I've never jogged in my life, and I started jogging just to do some kind of exercise, cardio exercise, after all of this. And my wife luckily did a lot of jogging in the past, so she knows how to do, and I mean, it's not very complicated. You go out and run, but she can give me a little bit of pointers, and she did it with me, which is amazing encouragement. And once I get, you get to see yourself and to feel yourself actually doing more. I managed to do one lap around the thing, and then a couple of days later I managed to do 2 laps around the thing without stopping, and you just feel like you're progressing, like there's some kind of progress, and then you are out for a week and a half, and then you're back to square one. And this has happened, again, repeatedly for months and months and months since I got diagnosed, and that sucks. So now, hopefully, I can finally get strong. And I actually I found a very nice personal trainer who is going to help me a little bit, not a ton, because those things are expensive and take a lot of time, but he can point me and guide me in the correct direction. He can give me pointers. He can really help me build up and hopefully stay strong. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen after that, after January, after the next CT. We don't know, but we'll see. In any case, I'm going to treat this like there's no more chemo for at least 2 months, and I'm going to freaking become a bit stronger now. God damn it. So that's kind of what we're doing. Another thing, though, that I kind of realized, and that's other than the update, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I've been coming to this realization for a while, and it's become more apparent every time I meet with doctors, really. And it's not to say anything negative about the doctors, but that's just the state of medicine as we have it right now. And the state of medicine as we have it right now is very simple. I am a dead man walking. I am in palliative care, not curative. I am going to be made to as comfortable as possible and try to keep me alive for as long as possible. But as far as traditional medicine, conventional medicine is concerned, I will be dead soon. And when I say soon, it's in the next couple of years. it's impossible to tell because you don't know the rate of progression, and you don't know which treatments will actually work, because if a treatment doesn't work, that's bad. But if a treatment does work, then you have a lot more time. Then you gain a lot more time. And so we can't say an amount of time. There's no point in that. Unless, it becomes very bad. Once it becomes very bad, they can tell you, okay, you have 3 months or whatever it is, which is also completely arbitrary. And there's always those tales of somebody having 3 months and he dies instantly, and there's those tales of somebody having 3 months and they're still alive today after years and years and years. So you really don't know. But one of the things that I understand, and this is the point here, is that if I just follow conventional medicine and traditional medicine and do that, I will die. I will very much die. Again, soon, whatever that soon is in quotations. And that's not good enough, because I don't want to, shockingly. So I have to do other things. And those other things are everything else that I am doing, and all of those other searching and research and supplementation and other forms of treatment. And there's so many different treatments that are available, and I don't know if they work or not. But there's decent research here, and there's good research there, and I have to try all of those things. I have to try and understand my cancer and understand its disease as best I can, and do whatever I can in order to prevent it. And luckily, there's a lot of things that could be done, and I don't know if any of them work. The only way that I'll know if they work is that if I continue living. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to try them. And I'm doing a lot, and I'm reading a lot about a lot of other things. People have sent me suggestions from here till... I've got several books that I'm currently reading. I have an infinite list of notes to continue researching. I mean, I can show you the book that I'm currently reading. A lot of people will be happy about this. This is kind of it's this thing by this lady. It's pretty good so far. It's very interesting. I'm over here, which is pretty good. It's more than halfway through, 60% through. And it's a really interesting book. Basically, what she does this. I guess I'll talk about this for a minute. She is not a doctor, but she is physical therapist, and she got sick around the 90s with cancer. I think it was stage 4. Later on, it returned to stage. It was stage 3. Later on, it returned to stage 4. It doesn't really matter. The point is, she did a lot of research during the times there was no internet. But this book is from 2018, so it's from a year past. And the point is that she's done a really ridiculous amount of research about it. And in this book, she basically describes a lot of that research, a lot of those, how she achieved that in the first part. And then the second part, she just explains, okay, so here's what I eventually understood, and here's what you should do. And it is very difficult, and I'm not allowing myself, and I shouldn't allow myself because it is bad, to take what a person says and just accept it. I have to do my own research. But the point is that she has given me a lot of things to research, and that is good. She's put a very good idea in my head about this, then I need to research it myself and decide if I'm going to do that thing, that treatment, take that supplement. And I have a really long list of notes. And also, the way that she explains what she's doing, and from what I understand, the kind of person that she is, I would very much like to just trust her face value. And that is good. I'm still not going to do that, because I'm not allowing myself to do that because I think that's wrong to do. But it's good to have that feeling. It's good to have that feeling like this might be crazy enough to work, that kind of positivity. And I am positive, I gotta say. I am positive because I think we're doing a lot of things, and I think I'm already, before even reading this, before even doing this book, and there's a few things that she has not mentioned yet, and I'm doing. And that's cool to know that there's even more things. But there's a lot, and I think that's good, and I hope that those things will keep me alive, and I'm going to be fighting. Boy, am I going to be fighting. And that's it. I'm relatively positive. I'm considering the black hole that I was in for a long time, and I think that's kind of obvious with with a diagnosis like I have. Yeah, but I'm relatively positive with the current things that we're doing and the research and the things that we're going towards in this book. And I have another one, that I'm going to order once I finish this and start reading that. So I'm I got a lot of research lined up. I would say one more thing before I close this video out, and that is that this book, or any other book really, or any other form of research, I could always use another pair of eyes, another pair of skeptical eyes. And if you want to help me, and I know I don't expect anyone that watching this video to do that, but if you want to help me, I would really appreciate you doing some research. And that could be as simple as get this book and read it. And surprisingly, this book isn't boring, and that's kind of interesting because a lot of research books or books that speak about something that is more technical, something that is more scientific, some of them are boring, but this book isn't boring. It is interesting to read because she's telling her story, and she's doing it in a not boring way, and that's extremely important when you're reading a book, because I need to read this book. I need to read it, and I will read it even if it's boring as hell. I'm just like gonna suffer through reading it, and I'm not suffering through reading this because it's an interesting book. So it's written in a good way. So hey, if you want to just read this book and tell me what you think about it in an email, or which is my email is always there, or just a YouTube comment. If you want to, if you read it and you say, this sounds like bullshit to me, this sounds really good, I'm going to research it a little bit, and you find 2 articles and you read them, and it's like, you read them through and they seem really nice, and you say, you know what, I think you should take this supplement. That gives me another boost of confidence in doing that thing. And that is something that I need. That is extremely positive. Even if I'm already doing that thing, it gives me a little bit of hope. It gives me a little bit of strength in knowing that that thing or this thing is good for me. And that's pretty much it. So I don't really expect anyone to just like, you know what? I got 2 hours. I got a lot of time to kill. Let's do some cancer research for a random person on YouTube. But hey, maybe, I don't know. I have to try absolutely everything, right? So that's another thing that I could ask. And yeah, if you do, let me know. Thank you. And hell, I will. If anybody wants to read this book on me, I will freaking send it to you as an Amazon gift, maybe, or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying stupid things. It does cost money, and I need money, but. You could get this I think you can get this for like $5. I like having physical books, but I think you can get this on a reader for like $5 or something, so it's not much. Okay, I'm gonna stop babbling right now. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching as usual, and I'll be back with more updates in the next couple of weeks or something as usual. All right, cheers.